Hey, we are live. So, today we're going to show you how to load a Tumblr. And I've got the rocks right over here that I want to use. And these are just rocks that I took out of the Tumblr previously and set them to the side. We're going to mix up the rocks and get the old slurry off of them. We'll dump that off in the bucket. And then we're going to just start loading the Tumblr here. Let me tilt you guys forward just a little bit, like that. There. Now I like to put the bigger rocks on the bottom, and then put medium-sized rocks in. Here, that's a bigger one. And put the medium-sized one in. Cord slurry from the bottom there again. And then we're going to go through these rocks right here and pick out the ones with pointed edges, because the pointed edges in step one help round off the other rocks. And then you can take and mount it like that. Shake it. Sometimes I shake it. The idea is to get the rocks settled. This one, I want to go in there, and this one. Them are green aventurine, and that white will come off, and it'll end up being green. In order to do that, you need little rocks that are sharp edges. Little ones. Bitty ones with sharp edges work very well for that. makes it a little bit better right now. That, and then we use leftover slurry. Start with the stuff that's at the bottom of your bucket first. You will take also and put this dried up slurry in there. That I was using before, I don't use now. I use a ladle, and so I don't use this cup anymore. So I let the grit. Not the grit, the slurry dry up in the cup. So the rock can go in there. We're going to pour this in. That. Take our ladle, use a little bit of water. Oop. Spill the water all over. I need to change out the spilling the water all over me instead of in the Tumblr. See, that's the stuff you want. Thick stuff. On the bottom of the bucket. Thick stuff from the bottom of the bucket. until the water goes down. Full. More water in. Oh, sorry, guys. Back over there where it belongs. So that's plenty of water. See, I like to do about half full of water when I'm doing like this. And so let's scrape this away from the center. See, it has to be below this lip right here. So sometimes I have to scrape it around below the lip. Put the knife back in the container over there. A little bit of borax in here. About a teaspoon. This is a half a tablespoon. Hey, my friend, how are you? How are you today? So we've got the Tumblr filled with rocks. And we've got our used slurry in there and a little bit of borax. Now we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of 4670 grit. 1, 2, 3. This scoop is 1 tablespoon, so that's 3 scoops. Push this away from the center. That's one thing about doing rock hounding and rock tumbling. It is not a clean hobby. It is not a clean hobby at all. clean off your lid. I always wipe it with a little bit of a wet rag first, and then wipe the edge with a dry rag. And then go back and wipe this. Rag bucket. I have like a garbage can, a small kitchen garbage can. It's about 5 quarts. It sits to my left here. That I put all my dirty microfiber rags in. And then I carry that into the laundry room and they get washed. That's on there. Oh, and the inner lid, always press down your inner lid. That's good. Glad my friend is okay. And that she's doing good. And then you turn the tumbler on. Set it for 4 days. And turn it on. And it always does this. It speeds up like that, and then it'll slow down and stop, and then start again. That's just normal for this brand. So we got plenty of time here, so we're going to check out the other tumbler, which is right here. And I did an experiment with this one yesterday. We'll see how it did. Instead of running and getting clean water, I used just the water from the slurry bucket. Which I normally would run and get clean water, and then emptying the slurry bucket becomes an issue if it gets too full. Frothy's okay. We're gonna dump this off. And we're gonna take and pour some water on it. I usually do this 2 times to get the froth off of it. froths up. That's that polish. Froths up like that. Because I cut way down on the amount of borax I use. That is basalt. Needs to go in a burnish cycle, which is water. But we'll pile these up here and then put them in with just water. That quartz came out really good, didn't it? At least I think it's quartz. That one I would consider done. It's all shiny. The ones that are shiny, when they come out, when I dry them off, they go in the done pile. I got a whole sink behind me of rocks waiting for polish. See that one? That one is done. See how that shines? That is what they were supposed to be like when they're done. Shiny and pretty, and no need to burnish them when they're shiny like that, unless when you set them over to dry they like frost over is the best way to put it. Then I put them in the water. That one's pretty, huh? That one needs a little bit burnishing. Well, I say a little bit. Burnishing cycle is supposed to be 3 to 4 hours, and I always do overnight. And see, these don't tumble very good. See, they get shiny out around the edge, but they never get shiny across here. This one's a little bit shiny, so it'll go in for burnish. See how it's shiny on that side, and then you turn over, and it's a little bit shiny, but not across here. See, and that one is a little bit shiny, put it through a burnish cycle. And see, this is what I'm talking about. See how it gets that frost looking on it? When they do that, I put them into burnish. If they don't do that, they stay in the done pile. See, even this little one is doing it. See, that one. Put that over in the done pile. Oops. Watch it. That one is done. See how that shines? That's what happens when you, oops, take your time. My payday is tomorrow night. And one of the things I'm ordering is the new Tumblr. And I'll order a better surge suppressor, one of them surge strips. Because the one I got right now works, but it only has 3. Now I really need 6 for in here because I want to set up. I took and I repurposed a Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner that the belt kept breaking. So I took the beater bar out and I made it into an air filter. So I can sit it, oops, in the corner right over there. Let me back you guys up for a minute. Where that fan is right there, I can sit it right there next to the fan and turn it on and let it run and open the window and let it pull air in from the outside. See, that's more basalt. I get basalt, I find it comes in these long strips. I call them strips. They look like, almost like a tube. Like this, only some of them come longer. Some of them come like triangle shaped. I don't pick up a lot of it anymore because it is so hard to tumble. See, there's one of them brown rocks. I need to set up a light over here. To shine down this way so that when I hold up the rock like this, there's not a shadow from the phone. More basalt. That's almost done, but not quite, because it's shiny around the edges and down towards the center. Now this one is pretty. This is kind of like banded jerk. It's got a lot of colors in it. It's almost like rhyolite, only it's banded. I've never seen rhyolite banded before. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Oops. I'm dropping stuff today. Isn't that pretty? It's almost done. Set it right there for now. More basalt. And when that basalt dries, I'll show you what it does, why I get aggravated at it. And why I decided I'm not going to pick up any more of plain basalt. There, that's pretty, huh? That's kind of like, almost like black lace agate. That is black lace agate. Let's show you guys. There. See how that's clear? And you have the strips of black in there and the little dendrites. Isn't that pretty stuff? And that is done. We'll set it there just to make sure it doesn't lose it. Go for what I call a bath. It's a rinse cycle, basically. There's just water in it, a little bit of borax. I know people that put a lot of borax in there, and when I put a lot of borax in, it just froths up like crazy and doesn't tumble. So I quit putting a lot of borax in there. I put a teaspoon in now. I used to do a tablespoon and a half. That one's gonna have to go in the rinse cycle. This one's This is tourmaline. This looks like a little piece of jasper, red jasper. Once done, set it there, see if it gets that frosted look on it. There's some cool stuff. It's kind of like basalt, but it has these yellow stripes in it. It could still be a type of basalt. I just don't know about it. But see, this is what that basalt does. You can see it's shiny, but it like frosts over. And so that will have to go in the burnish cycle. It's just very frustrating to deal with. This didn't slow down like it's supposed to. So we're going to take this and shake it like that and start it again. Let it spin out and stop and restart. This here was an experiment that I did, which it was a round ball, like egg shape, and I cut it in 8 pieces. This is the only piece that I can find. Crazy. They were all shaped like that. And that's the only one that I have found. Unless I'm just overlooking them. And that one will run through the rinse cycle. And this is really cool. This is almost like rhyolite with the oranges and the yellows. Cool stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Pretty stuff. There's another piece of basalt. And this, I think, is a little piece of granite. Just a little piece. Oops. See, that one's pretty. And see, once I get the bigger tumbler, I can have both of these for just polish. And of course, when it comes, we'll do an unboxing video. Have to do that out in the living room. See, pretty stuff. I believe this is rhyolite. Tomorrow, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a couple of different rocks and have people in the chat name off what they think it is. I can do the rocks from my collection that are already done. Bring my collection in here and see if you guys can guess what it is and then tell you what it actually is. That sounds like fun, huh? Cool stuff, huh? Rock pounding and rock tumbling. Well, rock tumbling is part of rock pounding. One hobby. You can go, like I go to the river and look for rocks, and then I can take those rocks home and I can tumble. And all it cost me was the gas to go to the river, which for me, it's just a half a mile from my house. More basalt. Some of this basalt, we're not going to retumble. We're going to set it off to the side. And we'll put some new stuff in there that I know will tumble well. the table a little bit this afternoon. Put these closer over here so that I can stack my microfiber cloths right here, so I ain't got to reach all the way over to the corner to get them. And I'll put some of these tools away, put some of these rocks in a container instead of having them just haphazard out here on the table. See, that's cool. This here is Bandit Church that I'm wiping off right now. Cool stuff, huh? Bandit Church. What do we got left in here? That one did up nice. See that nice shine on it? And we were going to put that in the done pile. See that one? That's pretty. That one is pretty. That's Green Adventuring, and that is done. Another one is done. Green Adventuring sure does turn out pretty. There. Isn't that pretty? With the yellows in it. That is done. This is more. More salt. Let's see what we got left in here. Bunch of little stuff. Some little ones, I just wipe them off, show them guys to you. I do them, wipe them a little bit different. I'll show you what I do. See, that's the size we're getting down to right now. And the rest of them are all pretty small. Get down to this size. Look, there's an amethyst. It's really pretty. See, there's an amethyst. And when we get down to the ones that are this size, I just take them like this in a towel and dry them like that. And if I need to turn them, just rub them with the towel. See, that one is done. Oops. That one is done. Another one done. Another one done. That are done, as soon as they're dry and they don't have that white frost on them, I'll put them in a bag and then they will go up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And that one's done. That one needs to go in the burner cycle. I'm gonna make a decision here. I'm not gonna put that basalt back in there. I'll put that basalt off to the side. That way we can put some other stuff in there that needs to be polished or burnished rather. See, them are all done except for that one. See, that one's still dull. And there's some more basalt. We're going to put the basalt off to the side. Batch I'm going to do. That's difficult rocks. I have this one. That's a piece of petrified wood with some jasper in it. That needs to go back through step one. Let's see, that one, and I had a bunch of little itty bitty ones about that big. Just a few more in here. Oops. Any more? One. So we got these. This is the size we're down to. These little bitty ones. I say little bitty, but like that one is done. That in the done pile. This is more basalt, which will get finished later. More basalt right here. Oops, sorry, too close. That's pretty. Side. Okay, so we're going to reload this one. I always like to put big rocks in first. Tilt this so that you guys can see better. Okay, so I go from bigger to smaller. Goodness. Always run your fingers over your rocks and see if there's any rough spots, especially when for the polish cycle. So I always just go like that. Like that, and rub on both sides. See, now that one's rough, so that goes back to step one. Any roughness on it, you don't want them in the polish cycle. Because if there's any roughness on the polish cycle, when them rub together, you can damage the finish on your almost finished rocks. That one's rough. There, we can do that one. That one's rough. We can do that one. That one. That one. That one. I want to do this one. This one is smooth on all sides. It should have gone down to the bottom. It'll adjust. So we're just going to go water. That one. I only got a couple more. And we'll do our shake. That gets your smaller rocks to settle. So if you need to put a few more in, you have room. Here. I will wait on that. Let's see if we have some small ones in here. Yep. There. See, I have to redo my thing, so I might as well towel at the same time. Is that better, guys? Just looked up and seen that that was on a weird angle. That's good enough. That is good enough. So now I'm going to take a little bit of water in here. Turn this so I can see what I'm doing. A little bit more. Just a little tad more won't hurt. Not all of this, just a little. Just a little bit more. I really need to get my teaspoon out, which I will whenever I rearrange this. It's down under this pile of rocks. And this that's plenty. See, I like to give it about this much water. See, the rock level is about right here, so I like to go a half inch to an inch below the water level. Then wipe your lip. This should be easier to wipe because it's basically always most of the water. Cover. I call this the lid and this the cover. And always press this down good. And tighten that. This will froth up a little bit, but it shouldn't froth up like it was when we took it out. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so we want this to be 4 days, even though we're gonna take it out tomorrow. there. Now see, it speeds up and then it'll slow down. It used to completely stop, but anymore it doesn't. And that's what we got for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, remember to, oh, no problem if you've been working. That ain't a problem. So since you're here, I talked to you about this stuff. I showed you the picture of this stuff. This is that rock that I found that I thought was concrete. But if you, here, let me get the light here, just the light on the end. If you look at these are little itty bitty rocks. I mean little bitty. That's not concrete. You would not put little itty bitty rocks like that in concrete. You can see? It's all the way around. Little itty bitty rocks with bigger rocks. You would not do that with concrete. And here is what it looks like when you pick it up. It looks rough. Almost like what I would call sediment layer rock. You can't see the little rocks because you got all of this sediment stuff over the top of it. Look at the harder part. See, it's rough. That's what made me think it was concrete. It's just rough. But that's what it's like when you first pick it up. So what I'm going to do is take some pictures of before. I'll do a video of before and after. And I want to send that to the university and have them tell me what it is. Because I found it here at by the boat ramp for Yellowstone River here in Miles City. But I would really like to know what this is because I have more of it. Like, this was one big flat piece and it wouldn't fit in the tumbler. So I hit it with a hammer and it cracked in 3 pieces. Now it'll fit in the tumbler. But still, that gives us a chance to look and see what the layer is like. See, that's got a little bitty fine rocks all through the layer, all different colors. Some are white, some are gray, some are black, some are brown. And when you put it in the tumbler and a piece of rock comes out, that's the divot that it leaves. This does not, what I call roll over. The edges should roll over. That doesn't. And I use 4670 grit. If that was concrete, 4670 grit would eat this away to nothing. So I'm going to take some pictures and send it off to the university, and I'll also call my supplier and send some to them and see what they think, because this is just cool, and I found it right here. So the university, I would think, should know, but then again, you never know, right? You never know today what kind of clowns they have at universities. And then this one, I believe this is called a Treasure State agate, and I'll show you why. Okay, it's clear like a Montana moss agate, and then you turn it over and it's dotted with white, and that did not come off, that polished. If that was that crust that I get on some of them, when you tumble it, by the time you get it polished, the crust all comes off. But that polished. So that's some type of white rock on top of the agate. And see, that is just cool stuff. Oh, let me see if I can do this right. See, that is just cool stuff. And that is done, but I'm not selling that one. Some of them I will sell, some of them I won't. That one's going to go in my collection. All right, we will be back tomorrow. I'm going to clean up here in my room. I don't think you guys want to watch me clean. But we will be back tomorrow. Take care. Have a good day. Bye for now.